Innovation is a battlefield, and Agility Prime is just one way we're going to win it.
2740, answer 81, see you later.
I'm Dave Merrill, co-founder and CEO of ELROY Air, and we are an aerospace and logistics company developing the Chaparral autonomous aircraft, primarily for autonomous aerial logistics.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. It's great to have you on. I know it's been a little while since we talked in March when we had you on for our launch week, but it's good to hear from you again. It's been an interesting year. Definitely a lot of unexpected challenges, especially from things that we didn't necessarily foresee happening, even for someone who was trying to build a flying car, which is not an easy process. So just walk me through kind of the progress your company has made despite those challenges and the difference between where you are now compared to maybe where you thought you were going to be a year ago.
Sure. Well, we had to figure out how to work under COVID, so that did bring some unexpected challenges. We are kind of partly remote now, so we have a team that does both hardware and software, and the folks on our team who need to be hands-on hardware, bringing up, validating subsystems and components on the benchtop are working safely at our office, whereas everybody who's doing, software-based analysis and development is mostly working from home. So we do a lot of Zoom calls. We do use, online collaboration tools, even more than we ever thought we would be at the beginning of the year. In terms of what has happened this year, there have been a lot of good things in the past 6 months. So I'll tick off a few. We have received really substantial additional demand for Chaparral, our aircraft, from big commercial logistics partners. So this is on the order of hundreds of systems, and we're now planning with these partners for deployments. This is a huge validation of our trajectory here, reflects several years of relationship building. So that's been really exciting. We kicked off airframe manufacturing this quarter with an expert design build partner that combines quick build experimental aircraft approach, the type that was originally pioneered by Burt Rutan at Scaled Composites, but with bonded pre-preg methods that are now used extensively by high performance aircraft companies. And this starts the build for our full envelope Chaparral aircraft systems. That's also been exciting to see that get going. Our simulation environment that we have developed has been expanded. So we're now validating ground autonomy and substantial portions of the Chaparral flight envelope in simulation. And so a little more about our simulation environment. This is a system that runs the actual flight code and control laws that will control the Chaparral vehicle. And it demonstrates the overall software, ground control, flight control, and autonomy integration framework. We emulate sensors and actuators to test the controls and the autonomy software in a representative simulated environment. And the overall vehicle design and configuration gets really significantly de-risked by this ability to perform, for instance, closed loop transitions between VTOL and forward flight against this aerodynamics and flight dynamics model that captures the dominant effects. So this is a modern way to do aircraft development. We can burn down a lot of risk by running different kinds of missions in simulation and capture a lot of the relevant detail in this environment. I think what has been helpful about Agility Prime is, number one, it gives us access to people. So the frequent conversations we have with you, with our TPOC, for insight into both the Agility Prime organization, but also the greater, Air Force set of needs and process. So that's been useful. And then I think also Agility Prime basically establishes kind of a home base inside the Air Force for autonomous VTOL. Agility Prime is the group that I can point to let my investors and let my customers know who we're working with. And I can say, this is the place in the Air Force where they're tracking autonomous VTOL development and working with the companies who are seriously making progress in this space, and we're in that. We're part of that cohort. So that's been valuable to us. I think that, the biggest and most exciting challenge is pushing the Chaparral all the way into full system flight test. So as you know, we did a flight test campaign in the fall of 2019. full scale demonstrator aircraft. We've made some improvements and done some updates to the configuration of the aircraft since then. And so getting this next Chaparral demonstrator built and ground tested and up into the air for flight test is the biggest challenge and the most exciting thing we're going to do this year. So all the pieces, there's like, hundreds of, bricks we're going to lay on that foundation to get to that point. But overall, that's the big push.
I'm Jamie, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of TALYN Air.
And I'm Evan, co-founder and CTO of TALYN Air.
Thanks, Jamie, Evan. It's great having you guys on. Great talking with you. It's been a real pleasure getting to know you guys over the past year as you've worked on your Ciber here with Agility Prime as partners. Some really exciting technology coming out of you guys' really early development work, but exciting nonetheless. I'd love to hear from you guys just a little bit on the impact of 2020, your progress over the year, despite the unexpected challenges. It's been a bit of a strange year. So I'd love to hear where you guys are now compared to where you thought you would have been, and just your thoughts on the progress you've made so far.
Yeah, 2020 has actually been pretty good for us. We are an early stage company. It's just a few of us. We were able to do our technical development and our hardware development on site without slowing down at all. We're still flying, we're still building. It hasn't really affected us negatively as far as our technical progress goes. The things that have been challenging are fundraising and partnerships as the landscape has shifted and people's risk tolerance changes. I do think that programs like this and also the right investors have the long time horizons, realize this is going away, but also there's benefits to the technology that comes out of here for the future, which is logistics transportation that's robust and not dependent on single point of failure. And so I'm actually bullish long run on this industry, COVID or not, even if it comes back or something else comes back. I think we're all here to stay and grow.
Brian RIESE, President and CEO of PHENIC Solutions, and we're here located in the Pacific Northwest in Portland, Oregon, and we're excited to be working with the Agility Prime team on what we've got going on here.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, Brian. It's been a great year getting to know you guys and your team out there in Portland. I know we had you on for the team up event in August, was it, and spoke with you on your use case with firefighting and some of the STR stuff. So great to have you on again. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
So, now we're coming to the end of 2020. It's been a year of unexpected challenges, even for someone trying to build an aircraft. Walk me through a little bit of the progress your company has made and maybe the difference between where you are now compared to where you thought you would have been a year ago.
Oh boy, yeah. I tell you what, there's been no shortage of excitement with this crazy year of 2020, and I think that's exactly right. We had one plan. And, I'm an Army guy in my past. And so, we always say that, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. And this is certainly the case here. However, that being said, we had one plan, but, situation, sort of changed. And there's some goodness that came to that because it really allowed us to focus on the things that we actually could. And we discovered, some areas that we wanted to work on, and we just moved those in the schedule to work on those now. So it allowed us to get a little bit more intimate with the vehicles themselves and really contemplate how we were going to go forward with FAA certification. So engaging those stakeholders from our research partners and the FAA, and specifically the ACO office officials. Really sort of helped put together a plan, and of course, working with the folks at Agility Prime helped steer us as well.
My name is Jeff Barrett. I am a business development manager for MOOG within MOOG's aircraft team, and more specifically within our growth and innovation team, where we go off and chase next generation applications, platforms for some of our core technologies and things that MOOG might not do yet, but has the capabilities to do. And part of that is the SureFly platform that we're talking about today.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, Jeff. Really excited to have you talk with us. I know we met just recently when you guys applied for the air race with our phase 2 discussion, but we've been watching what MOOG has been doing with the SureFly all year, and definitely eagerly waiting to see where you guys go with the space. So just going in for our questions here, 2020, it's been a crazy year, a lot of unexpected challenges, even for someone trying to build a flying car. So just walk me through a little bit the progress your company has made despite those challenges, and maybe the difference between where you are sitting now compared to where you thought you might have been.
Right. Well, I guess the biggest difference is I'm sitting in my basement right now talking to you versus I'd much rather be just face to face. So we picked up the SureFly platform at the end of last year through an acquisition. We'd already been working on a lot of the core technologies that are in the vehicle or that are in the current version of the vehicle. So it was a time where we picked up a technical team and a platform right before COVID hit. And that team is not located where we're located. So we're outside of Buffalo, they're in Cincinnati. Through the first half of COVID, it was not too difficult because we had teams regularly going back and forth. But now, especially with New York, with our COVID restrictions, we can't go to Ohio without quarantining or just not allowed to eat in any sense. So it's been a year of figuring that out, but really probably our biggest achievements are taking a vehicle that we purchased and a team, integrating them into the larger MOOG team, making sure that they feel like MOOG employees, thinking like MOOG employees and interacting. And then also taking a vehicle that I call it MOOGifying the vehicle. So the platform that we purchased was flying, but we had systems that the way that we view things, fault tolerant, high reliability, high integrity systems. So we spent the better part of the last year overhauling that vehicle from, say, a version 0.1 standard, which is what we purchased, to the 0.2 standard, which we're getting ready to fly within a week's time. So it's been fast and furious overhauling that vehicle with fault-tolerant capabilities and things that we would see in a platform that could go down the certification path. So it's been very busy. I was an Air Force captain in a prior life and in acquisitions. I've done government contracting for the last 20 plus years. So Agility Prime to me was a really refreshing change to the normal course of how this happens. I'm used to Fed Biz Ops and big solicitations and, 3-binder proposals and whatnot, which has its place. But I thought Agility Prime was very refreshing to make that more agile, as the name says, and go and do things quicker and kind of pull everybody along versus, the traditional way of doing things. So, I mean, the perfect example is right with the virtual kickoff, right? When, COVID was just starting out, I thought the virtual kickoff meeting and the virtual trade show was awesome. I have opportunities and contacts that I developed in the trade show that, I was sitting in a bedroom in my house talking to someone on the other side of the world, but we're pursuing opportunities. So I thought that was awesome. It was just a really refreshing way to change how you do business. I would measure success for the SureFly platform. We're getting ready to get it back in the air. So we'll call that the end of 2020, right? It's sometime between now and Christmas, and hopefully sooner rather than later. I would think at the end of 2021, we would have progressed that vehicle platform, extending the duration of flight. All these things are technology dependent on batteries. Some of the other areas and capabilities that we're looking to add into the vehicle to extend its flight time or its mission radius. I would hope that by the end of the year, we've gone through our current vehicle and we're well on our way to the next iteration of that platform to increase the capability. So without saying exactly what those capabilities are, and I think at the end of the year, if we've flown it for a good number of hours, we've increased its reliability, made it a high integrity vehicle and stable platform that we could now use as a base case to jump off in other variants, I'd be very, very happy. And as we, hopefully progress through the Agility Prime program, I'm looking forward to having the opportunity, hopefully at some point, to fly it for the government.